welcome. It has been so long since I have been live. I painted my room, hence why the background has changed. It just seems so much brighter, and I'm so happy. What was I gonna say? I woke up today and I had kind of my body, the body. Okay, so I'm trying to change the way that I speak in the sense of what I say, just the same as the sentence before. What I'm trying to say is, with the consideration of who you are, right? Are you your body? Are you your soul? Hi, Michael. You're not your body, you're not your soul. Sorry, you're not your body, you're not your senses, you're not your mind, you're not your emotions, you're not your thoughts, you're not your identity, you're not your name, your personality, your likes, your dislikes. You are none of these things, right? So, who are you? So when we ask the question, who are we, then you realize that your awareness, you're the primordial substance that pervades the whole of life. And that can be kind of tricky for some people to get. But the point I'm trying to make is, when we say something like, I am angry, I am sad, I am jealous, I am unwell. Well, what you're doing is, first of all, you're speaking these things over you. So you're embodying the thing that you're saying that you are. When you say, I am angry, you continue to be angry. And it will only continue to get worse and worse from there, But if you say, I am experiencing feelings of anger, that changes things. And that's the kind of changes that I'm trying to invite in. Like, for example, I was going to say, I have a sore throat, I woke up today with a sore throat. But who is the I? The I is not the body. So the I can't have a sore throat because the I is founded in God, right? In the beloved. So the I can never be unwell. You're so happy to see me on live stream. Thank you. I know it's been a while. I've been kind of busy, but things are sorted now, things are a lot calmer now. So I'll be here often. I'm gonna see how long I can stay on this live today. Like I said, the body woke up with a sore throat, You see why I did that? I didn't say I. Because I am not the body. Does that make sense? So like these little nuances that we can introduce, they really help you to see things differently, there was something that I was thinking about. I had the satsang yesterday. Michael, I don't know if you know, but I hold a satsang every Sunday, where we discuss different themes. So the theme this Sunday was emotions. I am as a existence. Love that. So yeah, in the satsang this Sunday, we spoke about emotions and emotional intelligence and empathy and PTSD and how to not regulate. Dinesh, welcome Dinesh. Yeah, how to regulate your emotions, how to cultivate emotional intelligence. And I just had a thought earlier. There's something that we always say as human beings, right? As human beings in this illusion, we always say, they made me angry, you made me angry, you make me sad, you made me feel this, you made me feel that. But if we really think about it, there is no other. Like the name of my channel now is Oneness Embodied, right? So it's oneness, it's embodying that divine truth. In the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, it starts off with Ek Oankar. There is only one, there is only God, right? It understands that there is only oneness. And to be honest, it would have just stopped there. Like Osho said, he said Guru Nanak Ji would have just stopped there with just Ek Oankar. Like that just summarizes everything up. That there is no difference between me and you guys watching. We're one. But he said that obviously some people, mightn't get it. So then the whole holy book was produced. But let's say one of you says something that's mean or whatever, and I say, oh my god, you made me sad. but there's only oneness. So it's not you made me sad, it's I made me sad. Now, this can be broken down into separate ways, okay? So the first thing is there is no other. There is only you. There is only oneness, okay? And I'm not talking about in my case, there's only Priya. It's beyond Priya. It's beyond Priya, the Indian 29-year-old who's on YouTube Live, who's a life coach. Okay? It's beyond that. It's more the consciousness that Priya is in, this this like identity, this ego that comes in, because who you are is awareness, right? So there is no other. So no one else made you sad or angry. You did that to yourself because you're the only thing that is. There is no other, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is emotions. Emotions, um no, it's not a life coach. You need coaching for yourself. Thank you, Sushil. Thank you, Priya. Thank you. I guess that's me saying it to myself. Okay. Hey, I'm not saying that I don't need life coaching. Everybody can do with some guru or mentor or coach in their lives. And I am not exempt from that. So thank you. I don't know what the point is. you know, if you're confused, Sushil, you can just say you're confused, or you don't get it. So, yes, what was I? Emotions. Okay, so when you feel a certain emotion, what are emotions? Emotions are energy in motion, okay? It is the, let me get my notes. Give me a second. Un momento. Emotions are energetic responses in the body to the mind. Because the mind creates the reality that you're experiencing. So there's nothing outside of you. Lalit, okay, Lalit Sharma, what are emotions then if they're not energy and motion? I mean, it's literally in the word, emotion. Motion is a movement, right? Hormonal signal, okay. I mean, the thing is, look, you're getting into matter, and there's something more fundamental than matter, Consciousness is fundamental, and then we have matter. For example, that's what someone says when they study literature instead of science. Well, it's interesting because you say you study science, but maybe you should look into quantum physics, because quantum physics shows these things, Quantum physics, for example, the observer effect, they wanted to look at light and how light changes when there's an observer and when there's not an observer. So that was the original experiment. But afterwards, they did an experiment on electrons. So what they found was when there's an observer, the way that the electrons, the pattern they form changes compared to when there's not an observer. So energy acts as a wave when there's no one observing, but it forms, I believe, an interference pattern when there is an observer, which means that happens because the observer interacts with the experiment. Well, you are an observer, so you are interacting with life, right? That's shown in an experiment. But when we look at real life, you're the observer, observing life. So you, the awareness, the observer, is having an impact on what you see. You impact matter. Life ain't waves. Yeah, life isn't waves if you're observing it. That's the whole point. And hi. Okay, it's entropy. Lalit, have you looked into quantum physics? Because it sounds like you're talking about old science, materialistic science based on matter. Science has moved ahead from that to like quantum physics, Hey. So yeah, the observer experiment, when we take that out of the experiment and apply that to real life, Sounds like someone's ego is being triggered. We know, okay, cool. We know our science. Okay, yeah, sure. I am wonderful today, thank you. How are you? How's it going? We were talking about emotions before we got interrupted with some science talk. But, okay, so let's put it this way. Lilith knows science, right? So, Lilith, if I were to ask you, if we zoomed into you, right? Let's say we took your hand, oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. You know, but thanks, Greg. And hey, Greg, how are we? How are we? Great and good to see you. Well, thank you. Thank you. I was just sharing the things that we discussed yesterday in yesterday's satsang. And, you know, this point that came up for me about how it's easy to say that someone made us feel something, you know, someone made us feel angry, someone made us feel sad. Like, it's something that I hear my brother say a lot. He's like, mom makes me angry, mom makes me sad. And when we take this idea of oneness, this divine truth about that there is only oneness, right? And we apply it to this, well, if there is no other, then you made yourself sad, right? It's no one else outside of you, it's you. Because think about it this way. Also, like, let me give you an example. Let's say your mom, right? Your mom is mad at you. She's shouting at you. You did something that she wasn't happy with. She's pissed at you. The phone rings and her tone completely changes. She's now calm. Hi, yeah, sure. You want to come over later? Cool, yeah, okay, come. I'll make this. I'm going to make this for dinner. And then she puts the phone down and she continues to shout at you. In that scenario, it's not like her anger was uncontrollable, because she can choose when she wants to be angry and not angry, right? So we have a choice. So when we give away our power by saying so-and-so made us angry, so-and-so made us sad, then we feel like victims, because then anybody in life can come to you and make you feel something. So you are at the mercy of other people. However, if you understand that you are responsible for your own emotions, and also look, it's the thing with emotions is it's the story linked to the emotion, right? Emotions are energy in motion. The English language contains compounded words. So compounded words are when two different words are taken together and they're put together to make one word. So if we look at emotion, motion, right? Energy in motion. It's telling you, the English language is telling you the secrets of the universe. If you take your time to look at them, if you look at the etymology, if you break it down. Does that make sense? So, if emotions are only problematic when there's a story attached to them, then that means they themselves aren't that painful. In fact, the only thing that makes emotions painful is your resistance to them. How often do we say to someone, if they're crying, don't cry, it's okay, stop crying. No, be positive, don't say this, don't think this, no, you can't be sad. I have to heal you, I have to fix you, I have to force you to change this. You must get rid of this sadness that you're feeling, you must get rid of this grief that you're feeling, get over it. Because there's no space for it. How often do we see that? I know it happens a lot amongst men, where men, I mean, for some reason, the height of, you know, what we think that masculinity is highly synonymous with the idea of emotional unintelligence, you know, a lack of emotional expression, where men are told you can't express your emotions. If you do, you're a weakling, which just doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know where this whole like idea of weakness comes in. If you're expressing yourself, you're allowing the energy to flow through your vessel, you know, to be expressed, to let go. And if you don't do that, like, let's say someone betrays you, okay? Someone betrays you. Let's say someone cheats on you. First of all, you won't let yourself feel the emotions. You're like, no, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna waste a tear over that person. And then you're holding it in, and then you're mad at them. because you're holding in that sadness and you can't forgive them. And that becomes a burden. And then that becomes a disease. And that becomes suffering. Is it worth it? I don't think it is. I'm addicted to talking to myself alone. Please help me. Okay, I mean, what do you say to yourself? We all talk to ourselves, right? I guess you just talk to yourself out loud, and others do it within their mind with overthinking. You know? So is it what is the problem with the things you're saying? And Ashish, I'm here right now. I think where I'm from is like the least interesting thing about me. You know, where I'm from, my ethnicity, because that's not truly who I am, right? Like what we're talking about here is about who you truly are. Who are you? Are you your body? Are you your mind? Are you your senses? Or are you a soul having a experience right now? Are you God in disguise? Thinking that you're limited by this limited finite body and this temporary body. You know? Why am I faking my accent? Maybe I just like to fake accents. You know? Bonjour, Poel. Do I say your name right? I don't even know how to say that in French. Paulette. Wait, I've been calling you Bonjour. Ça va? Hey to Ireland. Welcome. We are here, in case you joined late, which I think some people did. We're talking about emotions because I held a satsang yesterday, which is a sacred container where people come and, you know, we have conversations about different themes. So the theme was, thank you, Greg. Yeah, that is the link to the satsang with Priya. So if you'd like to join that this Sunday, it happens every Sunday. We spoke about emotions. What do I do for a living? I do this for a living. I also life coach. So if you'd like to oh, okay, I will do pin message. Boom, there we go. I also life coach. So I work with people one-on-one to help them with their mindset, nervous system regulation, just shift in perspective, you know, living in the truth and realizing their full potential. Like if I had to like sum it down, that would be it. But in the satsangs that I hold every Sunday, it's a sacred container. So it's a bit like the live without the, where are you from? Are you Indian? Your accent is fake. How old are you? You know, without those questions. It's for people who want to go deeper in these conversations that I hold here without the distraction. And also, you get to talk. You get to participate. You get to talk to me. You get to talk to other people in the satsang. So it's a fun place. But yeah, like I said, we were discussing emotions and emotional regulation. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Where could I believe I've pinned the message, right? Oh, I pinned the wrong. Whoops. Whoopsies. How did I manage to get it wrong? Replace pinned message. There we go. Thank you for that. What do you understand? And thank you, 07 Mech. Hi, welcome everybody. I will watch the replay so I can translate the live stream. All right. Bien. Au revoir. merci pour être ici. Oh my god, look at me. Okay. So yeah, in the satsang on Sunday, we spoke about emotional regulation. So there's this book called Emotional Intelligence, right? And in there, the author spoke about intelligence and the different types of intelligence. So what you find is, he said that, you know, a lot of people value IQ. You know, your yeah, is intelligence quotient. Like IQ is in like logic, I believe something, it comes into that. So you have like IQ and then you have emotional quotient, right? So which is emotional intelligence. And what he said was that in fact, it is not your IQ that is most important in life, it's your EQ, your emotional intelligence. Because let's say, like, he told a story of a doctor, right? He said there was this guy who was at university in America, so college, right? Intelligence quotient. Yes, exactly. Thank you. So, you know, there was a doctor, right? Well, he was training, like studying to be a doctor. And then what happened was that he, on one of his grades, got a B. So he was so mad, he went and stabbed his teacher. And this person was going to go on to become a doctor. So he was really smart. He was probably one of the smartest people in his class. However, his emotional intelligence was very, very low. He couldn't regulate his emotions. So would you want someone like that being your doctor? Someone who gets so mad that they have to stab you? Right? So in fact, I believe it was mentioned in the book, if you look at people who are in prison, those people have extremely high IQs, but they have low emotional quotients. Success is determined by someone. So if you want to have success in business, in your career, in your personal life, in your, you know, in your relationships, having high emotional intelligence kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like makes that a possibility. If you're super smart but you don't have emotional intelligence, how are you going to relate to people well? How are you going to do wisdom? How are you going to have business with people? You know, if you don't even know how to act in a respectful way in which you can deal with obstacles, with problems, with grace, with understanding, with social intelligence. Because what emotional intelligence does is it helps you have social intelligence, the ability to be able to understand people's feelings, the ability to you know, understand how to conduct yourself in different situations with different people, to know what to do when someone looks upset, you know, how to provide space for someone. Because not only is it important in social settings, in your relationships, but it is important in your personal life. Because how you, see you, Michael, how you are able to hold space for other people, how emotionally intelligent you are in your relationships is also reflective of how emotionally intelligent you are within yourself, with yourself. So when you're upset, can you hold space for yourself? Can you allow yourself to feel that way? Can you be there and know that, okay, I am experiencing feelings of anger. You know, earlier, I said that the way you say things is very important. So, someone is feeling angry, they can say, I am angry, or I am experiencing feelings of anger. I am angry means you identify with anger. I am is, you know, the thing you identify with. So people will say, I am an author, I am Indian, I am 29, you know, I am Sikh, I am Muslim, I am Buddhist, I am Christian. That becomes who you identify as. So when you say I am angry, you identify as anger. Are you anger? Are you sadness? I'm not saying it's bad to feel those things. I'm just saying don't identify with those things, that's when the problem comes. And that is the difference between someone who's emotionally intelligent and someone who's not. Someone who's emotionally intelligent will say, I am experiencing feelings of anger. The I am, you know, the I am, which is who you are, right? The I am, we say I am in before anything. Like I said, I am Indian, I am this, I am that, I am feeling this, you know, it comes before everything. So you are the I am. So anything that you say, anything that precedes that, you become that, you know. Hungry is when you get angry and hungry. Okay, thank you for that. What are we talking about? Essentiellement? No, we're talking about emotions. What books are you reading on EQ and IQ currently? I'm not reading any. I have read one. I read Emotional Intelligence, and there's this other one as well. I can't recall the name of it. But if you just type in books on emotional intelligence, you can find some, I'm sure. Or you can just listen here. You know, we're gonna go through is this free therapy? I guess maybe it is, you know, whatever you want to take it as. I'm just talking about emotions because we don't get taught about these things, and they're really, really important. Like I said, most of the people in prison, they have really high IQs. They don't have high emotional intelligence. That's why they ended up in prison. Not all of them, I'm not trying to generalize, but a lot of them, right? They just couldn't regulate their emotions, you know? So, there is a difference between regulation. Have I ever gone through depression disorder? Have I gone through depression disorder? Yes. I have, yes. You know, things like depression, anxiety, any like suffering, it's because you're not living in the truth. You live in a state of separateness, you know? Well, there's like a separation. Why do you ask though? Adversity forges the soul. Yes, wait. We were talking about this in yesterday's satsang about how hardships and adversity are really come to those who are blessed, you know, because adversity is like the sword that sharpens the sword. You know, you can't sharpen a sword by using, I don't know, like a banana, right? Like something soft and, or I don't know, something weak. You can't, like with grass. Are you gonna sharpen a sword with grass? Something soft and flimsy and cute. No, you're gonna sharpen a sword with a sword, right? So when adversity comes into our lives, we are forced to go inwards. And what usually happens is that people turn to God during that time, right? They pray when they've probably never prayed before. They talk to God when they've never spoken to God before. You know, and I think that's something great. Because look, I think that there are two ways usually that people come onto like a more spiritual path, let's say. And a spiritual path would be understanding that you're a spirit, right? And working with that. So everybody is spiritual because everybody has a spirit. But understanding and living with that knowledge, I guess, is what is referred to as spirituality. But you are only given so much adversity you can handle. You know, the thing is, a lot of it is, like I said, so okay, adversity, it's happening for a reason. I believe that our souls, which is what you are, right? I mean, you can disagree or agree, but this is what I believe, and we're on my live. We have souls, right? We are soul before we are body, before we are mind, before we are senses. So with that understanding, hang on, yeah. Is EQ about self-regulation or about understanding the feelings of others? I always thought it was the person that could connect with others' emotions. You know, that's a great question. It's about self-regulation, and when you can regulate yourself, you can understand and connect with others' emotions easily. For example, let's say I am not emotionally intelligent, so I don't know how to regulate my own emotions. When I'm angry, I say I am angry, and you become angry, and then you kind of lose sense of yourself. You identify with that anger. It becomes part of your identity. I'm an angry person. That is just who I am, okay? I don't put up with this. I hate this. I don't like that. I don't like you. I don't like you. You know, that's an angry person. That's someone who's made anger a part of their identity. They're addicted to feeling anger. And then, so if that person has so much anger, they will only ever get angry at other people, right? And then other people's anger will kind of trigger their anger, and they will get defensive, and then they'll be like, see, I should be angry. I should protect myself from other angry people, right? But someone who's emotionally intelligent, who's like, oh, okay, look, I'm experiencing feelings of anger right now. Let me just sit with them. Let me observe them, right? Let me let them be. Let me hold myself. Your emotions don't want to be healed. They want to be held. They want to be cradled like a child. They want attention. They want your love. You just need to let them be. You need to feel them. When you feel them now, when you give them your attention now, then they can leave. A lack of presence means that the emotions that you failed to feel, they stay with you and they become trauma, you know? The moon goes forward. I wake up in the blood of my share. Interesting. Can you... But I had to... Numan hasn't been... No, I haven't been live recently, Greg, so... I have not heard of him, no. Maybe he'll join at some point today. Yeah, maybe he will. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this live for very long. I have like a sore throat kind of situation. The body has a sore throat situation going on. So I'll take any last questions before I leave. I just wanted to kind of come on for a bit. I know I haven't been here for a while. But I think I should just like chill, you know. EQ is a true measure of human progress, in my opinion. It is indeed. It is indeed. Your emotions and how you feel, like the emotions you engage in, how you deal with your emotions dictates what you manifest into your life, you know? So yeah, if there are no more questions, guys, I'm gonna have to call it a day. My throat is just... It's probably not the best time to be coming on. But thank you for your presence, even though I know I wasn't here for long. It is what it is. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye. Au revoir. Yeah, sure, Greg. Like, just message me if you want to ask, or just ask next time. But see you. And you're welcome, Wade.